Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome once again. It's Wednesday, my dudes, and this is the Guys Hiding from Their Wives podcast, the best way to spend your weekend with us. It is Wednesday, August 15th, 2018. I am your host, Big Ben, and with me, as always, our producer, Alexander the Great.
That's me. I made the noise.
We got our madman, Juicy TK, right here.
What up? I'm here.
And right here next to me on the couch, as always, Magic Mike. What's up, fellas?
Hey.
As you can tell, I got my soundboard in talks.
I was going to break out the great news that Trevor's contract holdout has ended. He's got his soundboard here. I think we may come to regret it by the time it's all said and done, but we're going to roll with it. What's new this week, guys? We are back here coming at you. It's only been a week, which is awesome. We got a lot to talk about come football season, so we're going to be coming at you every week from now until, I don't know, probably sometime in after the first of the year. I mean, this is awesome to me. I hope you guys are as excited about this as I am.
I am literally excited about nothing.
All right.
Question for you. What about the new football league starting in February?
Which one's that?
After the Super Bowl, the AAL or something like that, American Alliance of Football, AAF, something like that. It's Dick Ebersol, president of NBC, there for a while. It's his son that did it.
Really?
And he's got Hines Ward. He's got a lot of NFL players backing him. Steve Spurrier was just named one of the coaches for one of the teams.
Dude, Spurrier's a friggin' football genius.
And
that's awesome news. I hadn't heard of that. Thanks for bringing that up to us.
There's going to be 8 teams, and they're going to start with that and try to expand, and it's going to be – they kind of compared it to what the D-League is and what the World Football League was. There's no minor leagues for football, but what they wanted to do was kind of get something like that, and they said if a player – wants, if he does really good and one of the NFL teams wants to give him a tryout, they'll say, yeah, go ahead and go do it. And they got free range to move around.
So kind of like a little stepping stone kind of a thing.
Kind of, yeah, because look how many football players there are, and and there's 1,000 football players a year that don't get drafted.
True.
And
that's why I never got drafted.
And a lot of guys that
talent pool was just too deep.
Yeah, and a lot of guys just sit around and don't do nothing and wait till the next year to try out. Well, this football league will help them stay in football shape and game shape, and some of the rules. If you want to get into the rules later, I can give them to you. But, like, for instance, there's no kickoffs. There's no extra points. You have to go for 2. And if you want to do an onside kick, you start on your 35-yard line, and it's 4th and 10. If you convert the 4th and 10, you keep the ball and can keep driving down. If you miss the 4th and 10, the other team gets the ball right there where you missed.
That's kind of interesting. That's a really cool idea. I mean, I kind of wish they would implement something like that in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, there definitely needs to be something.
That's where most of the concussions happen, is the kickoffs.
Oh, yeah, because you got a guy who's not expecting it, and he gets freaking waylaid by somebody by a gunner, come tearing down the sideline and just cream your guy.
I will get more information in next podcast. I'll give you all the particulars. I looked at it. I watched the press conference and everything. It was real interesting, and it looks like it's going to be kind of competitive. So I'll bring some more info when I come next week.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for that.
I mean, there's also the XFL.
I was just going to
say
2020. 2019.
I'm excited.
2020. You're right. Yeah, it's 2 years from now.
I just wish they'd bring back He Hate Me.
Oh, I'm sure he comes back.
At least it's some kind of a color commentator or something. So before we get into anything from our corrections department or our apologies department, I do got to have a bitch session for a minute. I want to know who the asshole is that came up with the idea to make salt and vinegar chips look exactly like original potato chips. I'm not going to lie. There's a bowl of chips sitting on the counter. Oh, hey, me being my fat ass self that I am, I got the munchies. I go in here, I grab a handful of chips, cram them in my fat mouth. Well, guess what? I got a really rude awakening. They were not original chips.
I hate salt and vinegar chips. I hate the smell of them. They're not allowed in my house at all. Them and Cheetos.
Oh, what's wrong with Cheetos?
My turns his hand orange, and everything he touches turns his orange. Couches, TVs, chairs, they're banned at my house.
Fun fact about the guy who created salt and vinegar chips. He's actually really good friends with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. His name's the Devil.
Son of a bitch, anyway.
Nice. I hate them things.
All right, one quick thing from our corrections department. I was not 100% correct. We did talk about this a little bit last week regarding Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco. How I said that Pete Wentz pretty much found Panic at the Disco, brought him into mainstream. What it was is Panic at the Disco was on a smaller scale, playing just some of these side gigs. They had a couple of singles that they had recorded. Well, Brendan Urie sent one to Pete Wentz on Live Nation. And those of you who don't know what Live Nation is, just this really old school thing that before you young whippersnappers used to know what Facebook and YouTube were. But Brendan Urie sent that to Pete Wentz. Pete Wentz stopped the record. He stopped in the middle of what they were doing. They were in Los Angeles recording something, and he went to Vegas and actually, met with Panic at the Disco, and then brought him in, and then got him to sign with, and I wish I could remember which record label it was.
Fueled by Ramen.
There you go, Fueled by Ramen. And so you were correct on that they did perform under the same label, but it wasn't just a flat out, like I had thought it was, that Pete Wentz found him, brought him into the light, and then went and got these guys. So good job on our corrections department doing that research. I do need to apologize to Trevor. Apparently all these mid-episode pee breaks, poor guy's just been getting soaked out here. My apologies to him. In all fairness, I thought it was a jellyfish sting because we have so many of them here in Utah. Just throwing that out there for you. So, quick news out of the WWE. Just two little points I want to touch on. WWE SummerSlam is this Sunday.
WWE
the
Super Slam.
Man, you are having way too much fun with this. I'm glad to see you're not being such a grump ass like you were earlier.
I still hate everybody.
And on one sad note out of the WWE, legend Jim the Anvil Neidhart passed away this week at his home. It's just a really tragic story. I don't know all the details about it. I don't want to get too much into it and give you guys the wrong info, but this one hit me right in the childhood. Growing up, if you thought tag team wrestling, it was always the Hart Foundation. With Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and his daughter's in the WWE today, Natalia. And this one just hurts to see it. He will be missed. We do want to offer our heartfelt condolences out to the family and friends of Jim the Anvil.
Yeah, that's a sad deal. I feel really bad for Tupac. I follow Tupac on Instagram.
All right. I don't have the gram, so I'm going to relay that one to you. You'll have to share that with us. Other news, Major League Baseball.
Could we talk about that amazing win by the Cubs on
my
Sunday night?
gosh.
I believe it was.
Do you guys see this?
That
was
watched that.
insane.
And I was mad.
2 outs, bottom of the ninth, 2 strikes. You're down by 3, and this dude just rips the biggest, arguably the biggest Grand Slam in the history of Grand Slam. Freaking amazing. Cubs win the game by 1. It was awesome to see. Harry Carey's freaking out in his grave. He's rolling over. Cubs win! Cubs win!
You guys can't see it, but Mike looks like he's in agony. Are you a Capitals fan, Mike?
I hate the Cubs. I hate Harry Carey. And to say it's the Grand Slam of all Grand Slams, I'm going to disagree because any Grand Slam is better than a Cubs Grand Slam. Grand Slam at Denny's is better than a Cubs Grand Slam.
That is true. That is 100% true.
Damn, now I'm hungry. Thanks for bringing that
And
up.
Mike is not salty at all.
I hate the Cubs.
Mike's not near as salty as those hash browns from a Denny's Grand Slam.
Mike, you are the second saltiest thing on the earth right now. Right next to the Dead Sea.
I hate the Cubs.
Mike is a big Cardinals fan, so that for us to be talking about the Cubs right here, that was almost along the lines of us talking about the Red Sox last week for me. It hurt everything that I could even think to even say anything good about them. We do have a new listener. I know she's a huge Red Sox fan. She had a field day giving me a rash of grief this week about it. So thanks, Tammy. Appreciate that.
The thing about the Cubs, though, the thing is, I watched that game. It was 3-0. The Nationals were winning, and the Cardinals they've been on a tear. They've won like 7 in a row, 9 out of 10, and they went from 6.5 down to 2.5 or 2 games down. And I thought, oh, they're right there, you know. And then the Grand Slam happened, and just the whole feeling of my heart just sunk. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, we all felt.
Where's Bartman when you need him?
We all felt bad for you on that one, Mike.
Wait, hold on. In other news, Alex, do you like Wendy's?
Are you gonna do what I think you're gonna do?
Don't
Are we
do it.
talking about fucking Wendy's?
No.
I want to show some love to our man
Oh.
Steve Ranazisi for that one.
Do you like Wendy's?
Sure, I like Wendy's.
I have
You're
no idea
gonna
where this is
love
going.
when are on your forehead.
Oh my God, that actually happened. I don't even know where to go with that one, guys. Back to baseball. The Sandlot celebrated its 25th anniversary this past weekend. It was a pretty sweet. The players were actually here in Salt Lake City, where they the field where they got me all out of whack. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying over here.
That happens to most ladies around me.
That's what these nuts do.
These nuts definitely fouled me up. But the field where they filmed that movie, they were up there celebrating. They had a big to-do. They actually were at the Salt Lake Bees game Friday night. The actor that played De Nunez threw out the first pitch to the greatest power hitter in the history of baseball, Hamilton Porter, a.k.a. Patrick Renna. It was just awesome to see. I saw a video of it on Facebook. Really, really, really cool.
I'm really sad that my favorite actor out of that whole movie's not in it. Wasn't there.
Who's that, Benny the Jet?
The dog.
The dog died, dude.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
He's like 113 in dog years now.
I know, but it's still sad. I still cry about it.
I'm sorry. No soundboard for that one, I see.
No.
One other baseball note to touch on. I don't know if you guys saw this tonight. Ronald Acuna, I hope I pronounced his name right, Jr. from the Braves. This cat has been lighting it up. He has homered in 5 straight games coming into tonight's game. And 4 of them were from the leadoff spot. 4 straight leadoff home runs. 4 straight games he's led off the game with the home runs. Freaking amazing. But I guess, hey, if you can't pitch across the plate without him hitting it out, you just hit him with the ball. So that's what happened tonight. They said the dude from, I don't even know who they're playing tonight. I'll get in and look that up. Dude uncorked his
Marlins.
the dude from the Marlins. The fastest pitch he's ever thrown in his entire life. He uncorked it in the first inning of this game. Pegged Acuna right in the elbow. He had to leave the game due to the injury, but the bench is cleared as well. And I don't know. Say what you will. I don't know that it was intentional, but it just seems kind of funny. This dude just killing people from the leadoff spot, and you just drill him right out of the gate.
If you remember a few years ago, Harper's rookie year, and he was on a tear. He was getting a lot of press, and he was on actually a big hitting streak, and he got plunked too. I don't know what it is. Old school guys think there's some sort of unwritten rule that if someone gets hot and starts hitting the ball a ton and you're a rookie, you deserve to be hit. I don't get it, but that seems to be one of them unwritten rules.
Yeah, but not up to a point when it's going to knock the guy out of the
They
game
don't
because
know.
of injury.
You don't know where it's going to hit him.
I guess.
I don't know. That is just such a bullshit
It is.
old
It really
baseball type of thing to do.
Is. It is.
Like, just because a guy is good when he was a rookie, because your stupid old ass wasn't, you're gonna hit him on purpose. I think that's just dumb.
It's one of them rules, unwritten rules. It sucks. I don't like it. It's not fair, but
But
they
to
do it.
freaking uncork the fastest pitch you've ever thrown to
That's
do it,
adrenaline.
I mean, just come on, hit the dude with a knuckleball or something. Hit him in the freaking ass cheek with something. I don't know.
Hell with that. Drop your trousers and go beat him up.
Well, he took off his shin guard and he threw it at the pitcher, so that was kind of cool to see.
No, have you ever watched the video How to Win a Street Fight in Compton?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yes. No, I'm definitely intrigued to look at this.
You guys got to watch that.
You might have to get on and share that on our Facebook page and on some of our other social media, which at this point in time is a good time to plug that. Hit us up on Twitter at Guys Hiding. Check out our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/guys hiding from their wives. We're seeing our like count and our follower count get up there. That's so awesome to see. Thank you guys for doing that. Email us. You good?
Oh, yeah. I'm good
All
now.
right. Email us at 4guyshiding@gmail.com and check out our YouTube channel, 4 Guys Hiding from Their Wives. And also just share us up. We're available wherever podcasts are out there. iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube. We are now on Spotify. That actually happened. The upload happened this last weekend, so that is killer news. So obviously, if you're listening to us now, though, you already know where to find us. But spread that word. Get it out there.
Yeah, I need fans.
Yeah, the Juicy TK needs some fans. If we get that up there, we'll show off.
I will
shorts
totally, if I get enough fans, I will make T-shirts. That'd be great. Juicy T-shirts.
Again. Oh, I love that. I love that.
It'd be like a better version of Starburst.
All right, we'll go with that. Now, funny that you bring that up. Keep that in mind. There is some other interesting news happening there. I'm not going to get too much into it now, but just know there is something in the works there. Stay tuned with us for those dates. It's going to be freaking sweet. Moving on, really quick, just one note I wanted to talk about the NBA. I don't know if you guys saw this went down. Carmelo Anthony is a Houston Rocket.
Yeah, I seen that.
I mean, at first it kind of blew me away when I saw this. The Hawks bought out the remainder of his contract, $25.4 million, just to cut him loose. Or maybe it wasn't that. Maybe he's getting paid his $25.4 million from the Hawks, and they bought out his $2.4 million or something. Anyway, he signed with the Rockets on a 1-year, $2.4 million deal, $2.4 million deal. To play alongside James Harden and them down there in Houston. What do you guys think?
I don't think it makes them that much better.
See, and I do. I think that makes Houston even more of a powerhouse than they already are.
I just don't think that he contributes that much. I think the Hawks are better off without him. I don't like Carmelo Anthony.
Maybe Carmelo Anthony from 5-6 years ago.
I'm not an Anthony fan, but back in the day, he was a scoring machine.
Oh yeah, back in
Right.
the day he is.
But
he's
he doesn't deserve the ball in his hands all the time like a Harden does.
but he tries
And
to
he don't play
command the ball.
defense.
Right.
He tries to get the ball in his hands. Like he can still do that, and he can't.
Well, here's the thing that I look at, and our buddy Skinny, friend of the podcast, former co-host, he brought this up this morning. If he couldn't do it with the defending MVP in Russell Westbrook, alongside with Paul George there in Oklahoma City, I don't think it makes that big of a difference in Houston, especially where he's probably not even going to start. He's
Nope.
more than likely going to come off the bench. So
Yep, I believe that too.
interesting to see what happens.
I don't know. I don't think he's not what he used to be.
Well,
Yeah,
are
That
any
old
of us?
gray mare.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on, the NFL. This is the best time of the year. We are here. Preseason is underway. There's been people, a lot of speculation has already started after week 1 of the NFL preseason. Just quick hits. What's you guys' thoughts right out of the gate? And we'll even, I'll go easy on you. Give me your quick hits about your favorite team. Mike, the Raiders there. Producer Alexander there. We'll have him and I'll talk about the Broncos. Trevor, what's your guys' quick thoughts on your Steelers there?
We're not gonna sign Le'Veon Bell, and he's gonna leave.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm super pissed about that.
I was just saying, you sound a little. That sarcasm was dripping pretty heavy off of that.
Yeah, it's bad. I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm a Raider fan.
Jeez,
Unfortunately.
you have
But-
our sympathies. My
okay,
condolences.
Here's my thing. They got rid of Del Rio, which I liked because of what happened, and we're not going to get into that. But I'm glad they got rid of him. I liked the guy, but after what he did and what he said and how he acted, I didn't like it. Got rid of him. Great. Gruden comes in. He starts cleaning house immediately. And he says, we don't need the best players. We need the right players, which I thought, finally, someone gets it. And he started cleaning house. He started getting rid of big contracts, getting rid of some of the knuckleheads, which I liked. And then
He's a
today,
knucklehead. Oh, terrible.
they go and totally reverse everything I thought was going good for them. So yesterday,
It was a sad day in the life of
in
Mike.
Dolphins camp, there's a defensive lineman named Gabe Wright.
I love how you have to put the space in the middle.
Yeah,
Okay.
because Ben thought he said gay, right?
Yeah, Gabe Wright. So the guy they was
is
doing
pretty
they was
bright.
doing drills in Dolphins camp. Dolphins have a running back, Kenyon Drake. He's going to be their man, it sounds like. This guy goes and just puts a blindside hit on a helmetless, not expecting it, Kenyon Drake, and just laid him down. And they cut him on the spot. You're gone. Get out of here. Guess who signs him?
The most classy.
the team who's looking for the right
players, looking for the right guy. And this guy, he's not like an Dominic Sue. He's a defensive lineman, but he's a journeyman. He's a spot filler until you can cut him. He got drafted by the Lions in the 4th round. He got into like 7 games, had 6 tackles. He got let go from there. He ended up with the Eagles. He got cut from there, didn't even appear in a game. He signs with Cleveland, and we know how bad Cleveland is. He only got on the field for 7 games with them.
How bad is it when Cleveland doesn't even want
He's been on and off the practice squads, and so the Raiders bring this knucklehead in for a cheap shot. So, yeah, I got...
They want the aggressiveness.
Yeah, I like the Raiders. I'm hoping they do good. I like what Gruden's doing. It might take a year or 2, but I think they're moving in the right direction. Again, finally. But to bring this guy in after what just happened, totally don't like it.
Well, again, you still have our sympathies and our condolences for having to suffer through that.
Hey, you know what's worse than being a Raiders fan?
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm being a Steelers fan.
Oh, no. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. Unlike a team that's looking for veteran quarterback
If we get time, I could tell you a good Raiders or a good Steelers story.
I think we will bring that up, but just some cool stuff happened this week with that. We'll really quick. We'll just move on. What are you thinking about our Broncos?
I think we need to find a quarterback. I think we need to find that piece of the puzzle.
Okay. Just one quick dig, if I may. This guy was awesome a year and a half ago, and get him in there. He's our man. Get him in there. Give him a chance. And now all the Bronco fans, have you seen the latest poll? They rank him 248th on the depth chart.
No, that's that other clown. That's
That
Paxton
was
Lynch.
awesome.
Paxton Lynch is garbage.
He got literally booed off the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
And-
started a GoFundMe
See,
to release him.
Yeah, everything's going on about, and there's people hating on Case Keenum already, too. Dude was like, he threw 5 passes. He played 2 series on Saturday. So I think he was 1 for 5 for 9 yards or whatever. But he's like, oh, yeah, the Broncos still need a quarterback, blah, blah, blah. I was like, whatever, dude. It's first week of preseason.
Okay.
Knee-jerk reaction. You can't stress. I don't think the guy's going to be great. He's not the second coming of Peyton Manning.
No.
He's not going to save us. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as everybody's throwing it out to right after the first game.
This is what upsets me about preseason football. They don't care what the score is. They don't care how many plays you play, how many plays you miss. They're looking at form. They're looking at repetition. They're looking to fill spots for depth.
Yeah.
They don't care about the score. They don't care if you break a 70-yard run, if you're, Marshawn Lynch against the third string. They don't care. They're just trying to fill depth. They're trying to fill positions and get the best team they can. They already know who's going to start, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. You know your starters.
And what upsets me is when you talk to someone, they say, oh, yeah, the Patriots played their first preseason game. Who won?
It doesn't matter who
They
won.
don't know none of the players.
Nobody
they
cares
don't,
about who won
You're
at
a
this point.
casual fan at best.
Yeah.
They're looking at their draft picks, how they stack up. They're looking at the off-season trades. They're looking at the veterans they brought in, if their leadership skills. They don't care about the score. And the first thing out of people's mouths, did they win?
Yep.
Shut up.
Sit down. Well,
Hey.
and you talked about draft picks. That Royce Freeman, Broncos, I think he was their 3rd round. I don't know. He wasn't one of the top couple picks. This dude is going to be a freaking stud.
I was gonna say,
I'm telling you right now.
I shouldn't say this because Ben is in my fantasy leagues, but he is one of my sleeper picks.
All right. No, I don't hate that. He's going to be the starter by the end of the year.
Do you want to know what I think of the Broncos?
Well, I think we have an idea what you think of the Broncos.
I think
but
we're going to let the soundboard tell us. I'd bet money on that.
Thank you, Mr. Leslie Chow, for that one. But no, yeah, Paxton Lynch, you talked about it. Somebody started a GoFundMe account for Denver to buy out the rest of his contract and cut him. It's time.
Okay, okay, this is how I feel about Paxton Lynch. You knew bringing him in that you brought him in because he's big and he has an okay arm. They thought that they can teach the arm. Who's worked with him?
Well, Trevor Siemian, Brock Osweiler.
Yeah,
Sorry.
nobody's really worked with him.
Osweiler sucks.
So you still haven't worked on getting him there. You haven't done anything to get him to where you want him. So when you draft somebody and forget about them like that, yeah, it's gonna show.
You want to really know what grinds my gears?
Oh God.
That
They traded up to draft this dude, so Dallas didn't pick him. Yeah, how'd that work out? Who did Dallas end up with? Bunch of bullshit, if you ask me.
the Denver with Paxton Lynch, it kills me because Denver fans, and they got a great organization. It's ran good. I got no problem with it, and most of the fans are okay. But there's them ones that are never happy. If the Broncos lose 3 games in a row, they're in the street burning their gear. They're just
True.
idiots for the some of the part. Like I said, not all of them. Don't get shook.
Oh no, there are
But-
plenty of asshole Bronco fans that give us the rest of us a bad name.
Yeah, and it's the same with the Raider fans. You get on any Raider website, and I thought was having a hard time a few years ago. I thought the Raiders weren't even going to win a game. They was going to be lucky to win 1 or 2, and they're talking Super Bowl. We're going. I'm like, dude, you guys are idiots.
This is our year.
You guys are idiots. I mean, every team must have them, I'm sure.
It's been the Raiders' year since 1999.
Yeah,
Wait,
and it's
hold on.
retarded.
I'm like, I'm not feeling good over here. Mike just said shook. Isn't that like a teenage girl thing?
Shook us. Shook us.
Mike said shook, and now Trevor is shook because
I am.
Okay, what's the greatest album in the history of rock and roll? It's
one.
Back in Black by AC/DC. And what's the best song on that album? You shook me all night long. So, shook this.
How awesome is that?
Whoa.
Look right there on my notes. Look right there on my notes. I got a lot to talk about AC/DC.
For the audio listeners, Mike just put up a big old middle finger towards Trevor.
Oh, and it is a big ass middle
He
finger.
picked
too,
it up
I'm
at
just saying.
Target. It's on sale. It was real nice.
Buy one, get one free. Other quick news out of the NFL. I don't know if you guys saw this. A couple of big injuries. Darius, I believe is it Goose?
Jice.
Jice?
Juice. They
What
call
the-
him Juice, but it's
Geese.
How the hell?
he was pronounced Geis.
All right,
and
whatever.
then they said Juice, but it's pronounced Geis, actually.
All right. Darius G. That's what we're going to call him. Running back for the Redskins, 2nd round pick. This kid was supposed to be just freaking amazing. Tore his ACL. He's done for the year. And Jason, is it Verrett? Cornerback for the Los Angeles Chargers. Hell yeah, I got that one right. It's going to be the only time all year I get it. Tore his Achilles a couple weeks ago. He's done for the year. That's a blow for the Chargers just because, to be 100% honest with you, I think they're about the only team that wants to win that division at this point.
Yeah.
They're a very underrated team. They are. They're a very good team. The problem is a lot of the time, like you said, nobody wants to win that division, it feels like. They have a lot of talent, and when Phillip Rivers is on, he's scary.
And that unorthodox throw drives me nuts. But the guy, and he's a
You
jerk.
gotta, yeah,
He's a
he's a
jerk.
crybaby and a half.
While we're talking about injuries, I saw that Ryan Shazier was actually walking
Yes.
by himself.
How amazing was that to see him walk out onto the
a
Steelers
good
practice
story.
field under his own power? That's amazing.
Yeah,
After what happened.
he wants to come back to football. I don't think he should.
No, you
Oh,
got
there's
nothing
no
to prove.
way. There's no way.
No, he should stay with the organization because I think people could learn from his leadership and his drive. But yeah, no, don't
Would
take
you
your
want to go block that guy?
no.
I block him. I
Well,
could
no,
take
I'm
him.
just saying right now, if you
I'd
block
block him
him
so
and
hard.
something happened,
I'd block the shit out of him.
It'd be on your conscience forever.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but no, with him like being injured and can't hardly move, that well, I could probably take him. No, I couldn't. I'm just saying. A couple things coming up for us in the NFL. I know we've talked about it before. We're going to do a daily fantasy league from the Guys Hiding from Their Wives podcast. So stay tuned for that. We're going to get that up and going. We're going to try to do a special fantasy episode here coming up to where we talk about draft strategies, sleeper picks, quarterback rankings, position rankings, some stuff like that. So hang with us on that. Also, coming up here in probably a couple weeks, we're going to put together our predictions from our panel of experts here at Guys Hiding from Their Wives.
Experts in quotation marks.
Yeah, sorry. For the audio listeners, we were doing the finger quotes.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm an expert.
Sure.
Laser.
Sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their freaking heads. Throw me a bone here, people. And that was the absolute worst Dr. Evil impression you're going to hear tonight. But we're going to get our predictions for division winners across all 8 divisions in the NFL, AFC champion, NFC champion, and then the eventual Super Bowl champion.
The
So
Steelers.
stay tuned for that. It's kind of funny. I did talk to a guy this morning, Kevin. Much love to you, Kevin, from Kevin's Abbey Carpets there. No, he's not paying us. I just wanted to throw him some love because he's a good dude.
Hey, Kevin, you want to sponsor us?
Yes, you want to.
I don't know, man. He's a
I'm doing the
Niners
Jedi
fan.
Mind Trek. You want to sponsor us. Anyways, him and I were talking this morning, and we got talking about some of this, it's almost time for the changing of the guard in the AFC. The Steelers and the Patriots have just been the cream of the crop for how many years now? And we got talking about it, and he's like, well, what's your feelings? Who's going to step it up? And I tell him, I says, well, I do have an opinion on this, but I'm going to be an asshole. Go listen to my podcast. I'll talk about it on there. So that is coming up, and I'm going to talk about, who is going to dethrone the Steelers and the Patriots in the AFC on that. So anything else out of the sports world you guys want to hit on before we go into our mid-episode break? We do got some fun stuff coming up on the other side of the break.
Conor McGregor's coming back to fight. I don't know who he's fighting.
I can't remember the guy's name. He had like 85 letters in it. I know that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard he's going to wear a sweet suit that says F.U.
That suit was pretty bomb. I'm not going to lie.
No, I don't know who he's going to fight. I don't know if I'll watch the fight. I don't like McGregor.
It's fun. Always fun to see somebody get their head kicked in, though, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Other side of the break, we have got... I've been in this debate several times. It started some fights. It started some fights between family members. True story that actually happened. We're going to discuss, we touched on it a little bit, which is better? Van Halen with David Lee Roth? Van Halen with Sammy Hagar? We've had some people respond to the poll on Facebook there, so that's awesome to hear. We'll talk about that coming up on the other side of the break, and if we get some time at the end of the show, it was kind of funny that you brought it up. We're going to talk a little bit of AC/DC as well, which iteration of AC/DC was better, whether the one with Bon Scott or Brian Johnson. So stick with us. We're coming right back at you. 2 and 2. And we're back. Somebody freaking farted during the long silence. It was terrible.
Yeah, look at that little bit right here.
It was silent but deadly.
We were just jamming some Van Halen right there during the break, and pretty much our producer here played 2 songs for us and answered the question for us. But, again, we asked the question on social media, and we asked you guys out there, which is better, David Lee Roth Van Halen or Sammy Hagar Van Halen? Now, we've got some votes come in on social media there, and it's pretty much a 70-30 split at this point. 70% of people that have voted say David Lee Roth Van Halen is indeed better than Sammy Hagar Van Halen.
And those 70% would be the correct percent.
I agree. I concur.
Okay, before we get into this, and there is a caveat that I want to throw out here, and before we really get into the discussion about it, Sammy Hagar is an amazing musician.
He's a great vocalist, too. He's got a really unique, fun,
Guy's
bright
incredible.
voice.
Now,
No one doubts that.
and that's not to say Sammy Hagar is not good. In my mind, in my opinion, Sammy Hagar is a better musician than David Lee Roth. Sammy Hagar sounds better than David Lee Roth.
No, I see. I
Sammy
disagree.
Hagar has better vocals than David Lee Roth, and that's just me. But that's not what the question was. It didn't ask which was better, Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth. The question was which iteration of Van Halen was better. And in my mind, Sammy Hagar's Van Halen could not even hold a candle to David Lee Roth's Van Halen.
I mean, like, Jump, Panama. I mean, 2 of the
Everybody
best.
wants some?
Yeah, 3 of the best rock songs of all time were David Lee Roth, Van Halen.
Nah, there's more than 3.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
No, it's Van Halen transcended. Van Halen transcends rock and roll. I mean, you've got rock and roll here, and then you've got Van Halen clear up here. Takes it to a whole new level. And I know Mike was excited about this. Mike's got a whole bunch of numbers, whole bunch of stats he's going to throw at us, and just really to prove it, and you talked about this a little bit last week. Music is really subjective because I'm not gonna lie to you. There's days that I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna be in the mood to hear
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift. Or there's going to be a day that I want to come out and I want to hear Ozzy's Bark at the Moon. You know what I mean? And so really music, and I know my daughter, for example, is not going to like a rap artist as much as she does one of her punk bands, My Chemical Romance or Panic at the Disco, 21 Pilots, something like that. Or, you know, there's somebody, my son is not going to like a heavy metal hard rock band as much as he's going to like a country singer. It's all subjective, you know, and that's not to say that one's better than the other. It's not to say one's worse than the other. It's all subjective.
And before I get started with the stats and the sales and everything else like that and all the notes I got, Sammy Hagar was with Montrose, and they had some good songs, you know, Bad Motor Scooter and stuff like that. I didn't really care for Montrose.
Nah, me neither.
But
They
when
never did it
Sammy
for me.
Hagar was solo, amazing. VOA
Dude.
is one of my favorite albums. He did some amazing, Three Lock Box, he did some amazing songs solo. I like Sammy Hagar solo.
My personal favorite was I Can't Drive 55.
Yeah, from VOA.
Yep.
And when he went to Van Halen, I'll tell you this, 5150 is one of my favorite albums.
Oh.
The debut album with a new singer is hard to do, hard to accept, and they nailed it.
Well, and we'll talk about another one, another example of that's hard to do with a new lead singer a little bit later on. But no, you're right, and I'm not saying that Sammy Hagar Van Halen sucked, not by any stretch of the imagination,
But compared to David Lee Roth Van Halen,
Well, and see, I'm sure you've heard Gene Simmons talk about this because he never shuts up about it. He discovered Van Halen, he says. They were playing in clubs, no one would sign him. He wanted to sign him, and he actually talked to the Warner Brothers, and they actually signed Van Halen. But he said when he seen Van Halen on stage, and he oh, that's pretty good. He turned to look, and he said he was just in awe of what David Lee Roth was doing as a frontman. And then he didn't even hear the music. It was all about David Lee Roth being the frontman that led the band. And so that's showmanship is 90% of it. Vince Neil can't sing.
Oh, Vince Neil's garbage on the mic, but
And
Motley Crue puts on one hell of a show.
Yes. But for Sammy Hagar, after 5150, I hated OU812. I hated For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. I hated Balance. And then that. And when he sings, I mean, Sammy Hagar can sing. He can play guitar. He jams. He's a great singer. But when he sings David Lee Roth's Van Halen songs, I don't like them.
No.
It sounds
No.
wrong.
It does. It sounds real wrong.
That's exactly just like you said it. It's absolutely wrong. And what's funny is just as you say OU812, Trevor kind of snickers and giggles over here because we are all perennial 5 years old here on the Guys Hiding from Their West podcast.
Well, absolutely.
You said but.
I'm a teenage boy forever.
But Hagar was there for them 4 albums. 5150, OU812, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and Balance.
Said it again.
Roth was there for Van Halen, Van Halen 2, Women and Children First, Fair Warning, Diver Down, and 1984.
Oh, 1984 was
And-
the shit.
And so if you do album sales, I mean, because obviously DLR had more albums with Van Halen, but if you do album sales, when Van Halen came out, 1978, before rock was really rock and on there,
when rock and roll was still evil.
yes, they sold 17 million albums in 78,
Mama
which is
said-
unheard of.
Mama said rock and roll is the devil.
Yeah. If you sold 1 million albums as a band, that was amazing. That lead 78 Van Halen album, 17 million, and then they had success all the way down, and then in 84 they exploded again with Panama. Or in 1984, the album. It was amazing. And their Van Halen with Sammy Hagar, their top album was 11 million. That was 5150.
Right. Well, and also I think the numbers can be, I mean, obviously you've got some pretty solid numbers there to back it up, but I also think, when that came out, which album was that was 11 million?
Yeah, it was 5150.
5150. What else was going on, at that time in the
Yeah, there was a transition in music, absolutely. But if you average it from today's prices and today's markets, Roth was making an average of 10 million more an album than Sammy Hagar's Van Halen.
Yeah, you can't argue that.
And like I said, but the only album that the Van Halen brothers, Eddie and Alex, really don't like is Diver Down, because they did a lot of covers on that one.
Well, and that wasn't Van Halen's style. I mean, they sounded all right. They sounded good. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it, but that wasn't what made Van Halen Van Halen. Was the stepping out and doing those covers. Van Halen was the one that needed to hit you with, that David Lee Roth out there at the front of it. And I don't even want to try to do it because it's just going to sound awful and horrible. But you know exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Is Scream that he pulls that out there.
Well, and like I said, I know I'm older than you guys, and it's sad, whatever. But
we're a bunch of young punks.
I wish you could have been in that era between 78 and 84, probably.
Well, I kind of was, I was like 3.
There was going from transitions from 8 tracks to cassettes, and rock and roll. Like I said, it was kind of bubblegummy at the time. It really wasn't. I mean, you had Sabbath, you had Zeppelin, and that was basically it. You had the Beach Boys, you had some bubblegum crap going on, and then Van Halen in 1978, Eruption, Running with the Devil.
Oh, I forgot Running with the Devil. Yeah,
that just came on and just screamed. And from 78, and then you had Ozzy leaving Black Sabbath and going solo in 81. You had Def Leppard Pyromania, big album in 83. Metallica's my favorite album, Ride the Lightning, right there in I think 85, 86. I mean, just in that era.
Well,
Van
Van Halen,
Halen helped
started
start
that.
Yeah.
Without Van Halen, there is no 80s hair bands. You don't have your Twisted Sister coming out there and doing what they're doing. You don't have Cinderella. You don't have
Quiet Riot.
Slaughter, Quiet Riot, any of those bands. That doesn't happen without Van Halen's influence.
Yeah, and seeing Motley Crue came out right there with right before Shout the Devil. I can't remember. I just went blank on the Too Fast for Love. And underground people knew it, and it was an awesome album. And everybody loves it now, but at the time, no one really got into it and stuff. And then Van Halen, I mean, Eddie Van Halen just took it and ran with it. And then seeing him live with David Lee Roth, holy cow.
And don't forget about Eddie Van Halen's other, killer influence was in the Wild Stallions music video. In their triumphant music video also.
A little bit of trivia for you. Michael Jackson, Beat It. Who played the guitar solo?
That would be.
That's funny.
Was
I
that Eddie Van
actually
Halen?
just
Van
pulled
Halen.
that up right there.
Eddie
Eddie
Van
Van Halen was the guitarist. It was actually on. Was it on Beat It or was it on?
It was Beat It.
It was off the Thriller album,
It
right?
was Thriller album.
That's where I was going. Yeah.
But I mean, Roth, according to all the numbers, just by per album, 1.5 times more, 10 million more in sales. Just ridiculous how the sales were. And you look at the songs off them old Van Halen albums; they're just amazing.
Oh yeah, well, one of them that was off of that 1984 that we didn't mention. I do want to give a shout out to one of my old high school teachers. I'm not going to say her name on here, just because we're not going to get into that. But Van Halen's "Hot for Teacher." Oh, buddy, killer! And that drum solo there at the beginning. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
So while we're talking about music, I kind of want to change gears real quick and jump into something. So this year was the 55th anniversary of the Billboard Top 100 charts. So they came out with a list of the top 100 songs of all time. So how it works is if a song was number 1 for 1 week, they got 100 points. And if a song was number 100 for a week, they got 1 point, and so on and so forth.
Okay, before you say the list, I hate it because it's skewed because heavy metal, rock and roll never got played that much on the radio.
And
to
see,
get
and
ratings.
I'm just kind of curious as to what you guys think. Like, give me an artist that you think would be in the top 10.
An artist now?
Anytime
over the last.
one of the
55
top 10 artists
on the
Led-
Billboard charts.
the Beatles, Led Zeppelin,
Michael Jackson.
Black Sabbath.
Okay, how about name a song within the top 10? And then
Stairway to
I'll read
Heaven.
them for you. So top 10 of all
Okay,
time
top
on
10
Billboard.
all time.
Imagine.
Ooh, John Lennon.
John Lennon.
Yes, I want to say that probably out of Michael Jackson's Thriller's probably up there.
And Nirvana's going to have that Teen Spirit song on there, unfortunately.
Okay.
Whoa, no love for Kurt Cobain.
Oh, he had Courtney Love. Does that count for something?
She shot him in the face.
No, he shot himself in the face.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Do you have one, Trevor? Do you have? a song that was on the top 10 of all time on the Billboard.
All time.
Time. That's hard because I mean there's
Well,
been so many
see,
huge ones.
I'll tell you this, like Rolling Stone magazine, they're so biased with their picks. And so I don't know how this list is going to go. I mean,
Like I said, if they were number one for 1 week, they had 100 points, and it's just based on points.
And what's really going to
I
piss me
don't
off
know.
is you're going to hit us. Probably half of those on that top 10 list are ones that we talked about last week in our
Nope.
covers episode.
Nope.
I don't
No,
know. Like,
all right, I expected
So,
that coming.
so number 10, Mike had it. Well, he didn't actually say this one, but he said the Beatles. Number 10 is Hey Jude. At number 10.
I don't hate that.
hey, Jude.
Then number 9 is You Light Up My Life by Debbie Boone.
Oh, shout out to my mom and dad. That was their song.
Number 8 is Physical by Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
What?
that actually was a huge song in the 80s.
All right,
I remember that.
all right.
It was number 1 for 10 weeks.
Because of all the work, that started the whole workout craze.
I guess so. I guess so.
It
I can just hear it and see the '80s leg warmers
Number
in my head.
7 is the Macarena.
Dear God.
Oh, shoot me in the face! Are you serious?
Number 6 is I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas.
Seriously?
Number 5 is Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO.
Oh, I hate that song.
4 is How Do I Live by Leanne Rimes.
How do I live?
All right, that's not.
Out
Horrible.
of Nowhere, Mac the Knife by Bobby Darin is
Oh,
number 3.
love Mac the Knife.
Number 2 is Smooth by Santana featuring Rob
Are you
Thomas.
serious? How long did that thing sit number one?
12 weeks.
Number
12
one
weeks.
might be Wooly Bully.
Do you have a guess for number 1?
Because you can't
after what I've
understand
just told
the
you?
damn word other than woolly bully. It's probably going to be something that's just you're not going to. It's probably going to be one from like the last 10 years, just from the that's the feeling I get
It's
from
not.
this list.
I will tell you, it was number 1 for 3 weeks in 1960 and 1962.
God damn it!
I don't know.
It's The Twist by Chubby Checker.
All right. And for the listeners at home, our producer just about wiped out our table here. It was a good save. Way to save it there. It almost went down. It was almost bad. Chubby Checker, really?
At number 1.
So even though he only spent 3 weeks atop the list,
I can imagine he was probably number
he
2
would
or
have had to
number
be
3
2 or
for a
number
long
3
time.
for like 86
it
years.
it
at
only
that
says how long they were number 1.
Damn, that is crazy. Well, and that Rob Thomas and Santana was big in late '99, early 2000.
That's a good song. I love that song.
That's
It
good.
made
It's
a
good gig.
comeback and was on the charts again. I remember because when songs do movies like that, they always have a resurgence, like Bohemian Rhapsody,
Right,
Wayne's
right.
World. It has a resurgence.
Wayne's World. Wayne's World.
Party time.
Excellent.
I thought the Wild Stallions would be number 1.
Oh, the Wild Stallions.
We just haven't got there yet.
we haven't got there. Yeah. Well, yeah, because we got to go into it's not it's just not a future report, Mike. It's a history report.
That's true. But getting back to Hagar, like I said, these albums, I love the whole album 5150. I do. But OU812, When
said it
It's
again.
Love and Finish What You Started, probably the only two worth listening to. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was Pound Cake.
Runaround was pretty good. That was the
yeah,
one that I was playing
yeah.
earlier.
And then on Balance, they had the 2 songs, Can't Stop Loving You and Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do. And after that, I think they're junk. I mean,
Yeah, there was not anything
nothing
that really.
stood out.
Yeah, you can like. Why can't this be love? Jumped out at me off of 5150. You know what I mean? As a Van Halen song, like Sammy Hagar, you're gonna hear of some of his other stuff. Oh, that's Sammy Hagar. Not that was Van Halen, but pretty much the majority of everything that's
But
was a David Lee Roth. Oh, he was the lead singer of Van Halen.
yeah, but I mean, you got on the original Van Halen, Running with the Devil. Eruption spent time getting played just because of the solo. You Really Got Me,
Eruption.
Ain't Talking About Love, Feel Your Love Tonight. My favorite Van Halen album is actually Van Halen 2 because I can listen to every song 100 times and love it. Every song is awesome. You're No Good, Dance the Night Away, Somebody Give Me a Doctor, Bottoms Up, Beautiful Girls. Women and Children First. Everybody Wants Some. Come on.
I love everybody
Better
wants
Off Dead soundtrack.
Better Off Dead. I'm so glad that you picked up on that.
Yeah.
That movie is a freaking.
I love it. And the Cradle
Work
Will
of
Rock,
art.
Take Your Whiskey Home, just awesome. Fair Warning, I think, is their most underrated album. Because you got my favorite Van Halen song, Unchained. Mean Streets is awesome. So This Is Love. It's just amazing. And then Diver Down, they did a bunch of covers. They don't like that one that much. David likes it, but the Van Halen brothers don't. But Dance in the Street, Wherever the Good Time's Gone. And then the one that put them over the top with mainstream was 1984.
1984. Yeah.
Drop Dead Legs, Hoffer Teacher, All Wait, Panama, Jump. Amazing albums. Every
Might
one
as
of them.
well jump.
There isn't a bad Van Halen, David Lee Roth album.
No, there's
There's not.
There's not.
I can put any one of them in and love it.
Oh, absolutely, all day, every day. So I like to think that we've pretty much settled that debate, but you know, like we said, it's all subjective. Somebody's going to argue it. Somebody's going to argue how big of a piece of shit David Lee Roth is.
Although, if you do prefer the Sammy Hagar version, I respect your opinion, but you're wrong.
I like 5150, but it doesn't compare to any of the others. I mean, 5150 is one of my favorite albums.
But it's no 1984.
I mean,
it's not anywhere near Van Halen 2.
Did you guys rank yours?
No, I didn't.
No. I'm not that dedicated.
I put Van Halen 2, and then Van Halen.
I'm not that old to really have.
Yeah. I was there.
Not all of us use walkers.
Yeah, so I got Van Halen 2 is my best, and Van Halen and 5150, Fair Warning, 1984, Women and Children First, then Diver Down. After that, there ain't no more because no one cares.
and if you like one of those other ones, we're sorry. You're in the minority.
And if you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
Ooh.
Damn, Ricky Bobby, settle down over there.
Wow.
Hi, I'm Ricky Bobby, urging you never to travel to Tijuana.
They don't like Van Halen in Tijuana.
And there was actually a fans poll I read. It's been a year or two ago, but the number one Van Halen song was actually Unchained.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, I would have thought it was along the lines of Jump or Panama.
Yeah,
probably.
see, and I would have thought that because it was more mainstream, but
Well, yeah, just because those were the ones you heard on the radio.
Yeah, but-
those were the ones that got played, you know what I mean?
exactly. Like I said, that transition from like 78, 79 to the 83, 84 era, that generation of music right there was just, I wish you guys could have been there. It was amazing.
Like I said, I was kind of there. I didn't really know what was going on in the music world
Back
at that
in
point
Black,
in time.
Pyromania,
Oh, yeah.
Blizzard of Oz.
Oh, I love it now. Don't
dude.
get me wrong. I still will
Oh.
go back. You look at my Spotify playlist.
But they were
it's
coming
chock
out
full of it.
brand new. Brand new. I mean, and that's when the speakers and the systems first started, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Quiet
You
Riot,
first
Mental
wanted
Health.
to crank it
Oh,
up, you know what I
dude.
mean? No.
Best times.
freaking
Dragon
love it.
Main. I'm getting
What's
nostalgic.
really going on here? All right. So I think we're all in consensus here that David Lee Roth, Van Halen trumps Sammy Hagar, Van Halen?
If you
Absolutely.
don't like if you like Sammy Hagar, I'd actually like
I
to
like
hear
him.
why. Like why you like that version more.
No, absolutely. If you got your thoughts of why Sammy Hagar Van Halen is better, absolutely get at us. Tweet us, hit us up on Facebook, shoot us an email. Heck, if you have my number, text me. Tell me, hey Ben, you're a jackass. This is what I think. You know what I mean? Or you can text Trevor and tell him that because he doesn't take it as personal as I do. I might cry a little bit if we do.
You definitely will cry. I just have no feelings.
So
I'm half ginger.
I love Sammy as a solo artist, but as in Van Halen, after 5150, I didn't like it.
Right. Now, our producer, Alex, just pulled this up for us here. He pulled up Spotify. Okay. Much love to Spotify. We're out there. Go check us out on it. The top 5 most popular Van Halen songs
On Spotify.
on Spotify right now. And I believe this is number of plays.
Yeah.
32 million plays, number 5, You Really Got Me, David Lee Roth. 39 million plays, number 4, Hot for Teacher. 63 million, number 3, Running with the 53. What the? I'm blind. Give me a break here. 53 million plays. Sorry. 58 million plays. Number 2 is Panama, and the number 1 Van Halen song on Spotify, 176 million plays, is The Great Jump.
Yeah, it's a great song.
That's insane. Just the number of plays off that. I don't know that I ever said number 3 since I got interrupted there, but it was Running with the Devil.
But you notice there's no Sammy.
No Sammy Hagar there.
There's no Van Hagar. It's all
Hey,
Van
let's
Halen.
show 5 more and see if there's any Hagar ones on there.
Yeah, right
number
there.
8.
Balance. Number 10.
Oh yeah.
Can't
Balance.
Stop Loving You was number 10. Dance the Night Away was 9.
And Why Can't
This Be
I
Love was a
that
Van
song.
Hagar. That's number 8. Eruption was number 7. Ain't Talking About Love number 6.
It's pretty good when you can get a solo,
Right?
guitar solo on there in the top 10.
Well, I think that could go into. We could be here all day talking about guitar solos that belong in the top 10. we could be here all day long. All
Okay,
right.
What else you got?
All right, so I think we've put that Van Halen debate to bed. And again, if you think otherwise and you want to, you've got a valid argument, hell, even if you have an invalid argument, hit us up. Tell us what you think. We want to know. We want to know what you guys think. Okay, we've talked about Van Halen. Let's switch it up a little bit. We're going to talk AC/DC. I don't think this one is as clear cut,
It's not.
as Van Halen was. But which AC/DC was better? The one with Bon Scott, or the iteration after Bon Scott passed away and Brian Johnson took over as the lead singer there? What's your guys' feelings? Because I could honestly,
That's tough.
I think I want to lean towards the Brian Johnson version, but
I do. I mean, I think
I like Brian
having a
Johnson.
longer tenure.
Longevity is just what I was going to say.
Yeah, I
Right,
think that
right.
makes a huge difference. Because whereas Bon Scott was only the front man for like
6 years.
6
Till,
years,
like,
yeah.
74 to
1980.
79.
yeah. Well, and then I guess this argument could be made. AC/DC never hit an album hard enough that Brian Johnson went out and partied himself to death, like they did after Highway to Hell hit, and Bon Scott pretty much partied himself to death at that point.
But I mean, to have Highway to Hell in '79, Bon Scott's last album, okay? Highway to Hell is my favorite AC/DC album. It is. And to have that, and it was a monster when it came out, and then your lead singer dies, and you come back with even a bigger album in 1980 with Back in Black, that is unreal. And Brian Johnson, I mean, he's different, but he sounds close enough the same where he fits the AC/DC.
Well, yeah,
mold.
and that's just the thing. I actually had this discussion with a coworker of mine. It's been a few months back. We got into it, and like really, just at first glance, it's really hard to tell which one it was. Like, and you had your Bon Scott. He did TNT, Dirty Deeds, Highway to Hell. You know what I mean? And then you come back with Brian Johnson. He comes back with Back in Black,
You Shook Me,
Hell's Bells,
Shake a
Thunderstruck.
Leg.
And the one you talked about, talking about Mike being shook over here, you shook me all night long. And I mean, AC/DC just, they're another one that has just transcended the hard rock genre of music. You know what I mean? They just took, and they have arguably the greatest album name for those about to rock. We salute you.
Yeah.
Freaking, hey, he just pulled it up right there. Love it.
And when you talk AC/DC and you look at the comparisons, a lot of the AC/DC stuff and the later stuff that kind of bothered me is they put a lot of the same songs. They redid them and put them on
Right.
the same albums or same songs on different albums, and that really wasn't great. But Bon Scott, when he was singing, he'd get wild, he'd get crazy. But listen to like "Can I Come Sit Next to You, Babe?" He's just quiet and he's mellow and he's kind of sing talking.
Yes, you can, for the
And
record.
yeah, and he's
Too much male bonding.
his range was good, but Brian Johnson, just the way he can pound it, was just amazing.
And I don't think many people really, your casual listener's not going to know the difference, and you're going to think that Bon Scott is this iconic AC/DC voice when it's not the case. I firmly believe that Brian Johnson is that iconic AC/DC voice that people put as, this is AC/DC, whereas David Lee Roth was that voice for Van Halen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they got pretty lucky having two great singers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Also,
Well,
a
a
great
third
like,
great singer, if you really want to get into it.
No.
True. Well,
No.
Oh, we're going to piss Mike off.
I mean, also having Angus
you're
Young
not a big fan
behind
of that,
them,
dude?
jamming
Not
on the
with
guitar.
AC/DC.
All right, fair point.
Say that again, Alex.
Oh, I just thought about like it's also huge to have Angus Young behind them playing the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
I mean,
one of the
Dude.
greatest guitar players of all time.
They jam. AC/DC jams. I mean, you can lose your steam, you can lose your mojo as you're going through the years, but to come out in 74, 73, 74, and then when was Thunderstruck?
Thunderstruck was
92, 88?
80. Yeah. It was late 80s, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Our producer's going to check into that for us.
holy cow. And Thunderstruck, to me, is one of my favorite AC/DC songs also. And Bon Scott, listen to the album called If You Want Blood, You Got It. It's a live album they recorded.
Right.
Holy cow. That guy singing live is amazing.
Oh, he's phenomenal. One side thing I did want to bring up about AC/DC here, I made a little note about this. and you're not going to have this with any other band out there,
Right
just
there,
like
this
you
is-
talked about. Okay?
890.
AC/DC had 457 guitarists. I believe it was this weekend they did it in Australia. 457 guitarists got together and they played Highway to Hell
Nice.
to break the world record for most people playing the same song at the same time on electric guitar.
Nice.
The previous record was 368.
So they smashed
They smashed it by over 100.
Just like you guys should do to our like button. Remember, smash that like
Smash
button.
that like button. We want to get as many likes as we can on that.
And just one last comparison for me on this, and this is probably my only critique of the Brian Johnson era. In the Bon Scott era, almost every song on the albums you can listen to and jam. On the Brian Johnson era,
What's going on over there?
yeah, that's
legitness.
crazy.
Honestly.
But
It
on
was
the Brian,
legitness.
yeah, in the Brian Johnson era, there's a lot of songs that aren't real, there's a lot more duds in the Brian Johnson
True,
era than there
true.
was in the
Bon Scott
Scott.
hit with just about everything that he
I mean, the
did.
Jack. All they do is say the Jack a million times, and it
He
jams.
said Jack.
It's awesome. And who plays the saxophone or the bagpipes on a song and kicks ass?
What was that?
Who plays the bagpipes on a song, a rock and roll song, and kick ass?
Hell yeah.
Me.
For absolute sure.
Oh, Bon Scott, he actually played the bagpipes on that.
Loved it. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to something else. Sorry about that.
Quit passing notes, girls.
They were boobs. What do you want? So, Becky, let me smash. Yeah, so I don't know what else there is really to say about that.
It's a draw.
Yeah, the AC/DC, it's a lot less clear cut. I have a really hard time with it. One thing that we do want to ask you guys, go out there. If you're listening to us on iTunes, on your Android podcast apps, go out and leave us a review. I'm not going to be one of those hacks that come out here and ask, oh, leave us a 5-star review, please. No, go out, leave us an honest review. We want to know, we want to hear what you think. If there's something you like, if there's something you don't like, give us a review. Tell us what you think. Even if it's a 1-star, give us something we can work on.
We do hope that it's 5 stars. Those really
absolutely.
help us.
I want 5 stars. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I don't care.
But you should just
do it!
I love that. Love that. Yeah, so other than that, I think I want to get out of here, and I'm going to go crank some Van Halen and some AC/DC, boys. I don't
also
know
gonna
what's
do
going
that.
down. But thank you guys once again. Hopefully this every week thing is going to work out. Mikey's got something else he wants to add. Look out.
One last note. We found out who the Conor McGregor fight is. I knew the guy. I couldn't remember his name. Conor McGregor is going to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov.
That's a fake name.
And his nickname is the Eagle.
I love it.
He actually sounds legit. He's 26-0, 8 knockouts, 8 submissions, 10 decisions.
No, I've never lost either. So it doesn't
But
mean
I
anything.
looked at all the people he's fought. There's only a couple names I recognize. He sounds legit, but he hasn't fought a whole lot of top tier opponents.
Hasn't fought me. That's all I'm saying. We're just
I've
gonna
never
throw it out
lost
there.
in the UFC.
We talk about this. You just don't lose.
I know I'm a big.
You're undefeated at WrestleMania. You're undefeated in the UFC. You've never lost a Super Bowl. I mean, what do
How's
you
your
want?
Mario Kart?
Never lost it.
Dude, Mario Kart ruins relationships.
Well, we could
Just
put
like
that to
Uno.
the test just after we're done here.
Hey,
You'll
yes.
lose.
if
You
you
will lose.
if you guys want to be,
You suck at FIFA, though. I'll throw that out there.
you suck at FIFA.
I wasn't talking about me. I just said you suck at FIFA. Oh, I made him cry. Oh, it's all said and done. No, seriously, thank you guys for coming along and enjoying the ride with us. We're having a blast doing this. We're loving coming at you. Thanks for spending your weekend with us. Again, check us out. Hit us up on Twitter at Guys Hiding. Check out our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Guys Hiding from Their Wives. Send us an email, 4guyshiding@gmail.com. Check out our YouTube channel. That is 4 Guys Hiding from Their Wives. I need to go find the video of Trevor doing the ALS challenge, the Ice Bucket Challenge from a couple years ago.
Oh, God.
It was great. I need to get that up there. You guys definitely want to see it. But, yeah, if there's anything you want to hear us talk about, anything you like, anything you don't like, let us know. Hit us up. We're coming right back at you again next week. We're going to talk about we're going to stick with the music for next week. We're going to talk about bands. It's pretty much a given that a band is going to break up, but we're going to talk about bands that broke up too early, that we should have gotten or that we want more out of, bands that maybe went a little bit longer than they should have. Some bands that, maybe they should have broken up a lot sooner than that. And then we're going to talk about the ones that were just, it was time. It's all good.
I actually have exciting news. The whole Juicy Gang for the T-shirts. I think that's what I'm going to call it.
Juicy Gang.
Alex just got a T-shirt. It says, "Make life juicier." He does support me.
That makes me happy. We need to push that. Make life juicier. It's all about our juicy TK over here. But for the juicy one, for our producer Alexander, for the great, and for the always lovable Magic Mike, I'm Big Man. Thanks for hanging with us. Peace.